What is up, guys? Welcome back. Oh my god, I did not realize it was that bad. I am absolutely covered in automatic transmission fluid right now. Wow. Yeah, it's in my hair. It's a mess. It's not even 10 o'clock in the morning and we're already covered in ETF, so you know it's gonna be a good day. I want to show you guys something. We have a customer in that is broke down from PA, traveling from PA to Oklahoma. He's a hot shotter. Here's his truck. It's a 450, big old girl, and he brought it by yesterday right as we were closing and had a code for a as a P0715. It's the input shaft speed sensor inside of the transmission. It's actually underneath the valve body. We've got the valve body pulled out of it. This is a 6.7 Power Stroke with a 6R 140 transmission, and it's thrown a code for this sensor. The closest one is 2 hours away. Cody is on the way to pick it up right now, and I'm getting this thing cleaned up and ready to go back together. Guys, we are not by any means doing this as nice as I would like to. I'd really like to do a lot of new parts on the trans while we had it apart, but the guy's trailer is literally sitting in a truck stop 10 miles from here, and he has one of my trucks sitting at a hotel. So we're trying to get him on the road like as soon as possible, like within an hour or two from now, hoping he can be hooked back up to his trailer and on the interstate. So basically these 6Rs, and there's not a lot of information on this, so I want to share this with you guys. This is all, you know, quote unquote, just a informative entertainment. It's not necessarily how to do this correctly, but I had to pull the valve body out of the transmission for this code to access the sensor. The sensor sits, basically you just can't access it without pulling the valve body down. So I had to pull the shift rod out, which is this right here. There's these two tubes. You have to pull some bolts out for these. There's not a lot of info on these, on anything when it comes to servicing them. And then there's another bolt here that kind of supports the valve body. So you pull those, and then there's only like 2 or 3 bolts. I got a picture of it here I had to print out so I could actually see which bolts come out. Some of these valve bodies are marked with an arrow, and it'll tell you which ones to pull out. I'm not gonna flip it over right now. We're just gonna leave it how it is. So if you're looking at it from the bottom side, you guys need to know which bolts to pull out to drop the valve body. So you've got the 2 back here for this tube. You've got 1 here. These are all T30, and then you have some 8s. Before I show you which bolts, you need to undo the shift rod, and then you got to undo every single gear has its own solenoid. You got to undo every single one of those, and then there's another white plug on the bottom that you got to undo. I'll show it to you actually right there. That guy you got to unplug. Be careful with that. So looking at the valve body, this being the underside of it, you have some of these are filter bolts, but these are basically the bolts that'll have to come out. So you've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. But like I said, a couple of those are filter bolts, so you'll be able to tell. There's only 3 that actually hold it in. So I think it's this one, and this one. But you guys get the point. Look at that picture, it'll show you. We do not do a lot of 6R work, guys. He's actually called for a special fluid, and we had to order some of it. We only have 6 quarts, so unfortunately we're gonna have to even use some of the old fluid going back together. But it's Mercon, what is that, 11, 10, I don't know my numerals, but here it is. This is what these 6Rs take. And we're actually, as you can see, we've got the pan down there, got the valve body out. Haven't really used a lot of parts because time is an issue. You know, it'd be one thing if this guy was local. Hey man, yeah, we can take care of you. Let's get the sensors ordered. Let's do a new set of filters, or a new filter on the trans, new pan gasket, and all new fluid. But this all started within like the last 12 hours. We're trying to get him going. So he's at the hotel waiting on us. The symptoms that this truck was having, I want to explain it to you guys. So he initially came in with the truck was in limp mode, stuck in 5th gear. And he drove it around, or he drove it all the way here in 5th gear, which is not good on it at all. I'm gonna smoke it eventually. He had to get off the highway by putting it in low. I cleared the code. It was 2 quarts low in fluid. I was like, okay, cool. It's out of limp mode, let's go drive it. Me and him go on a 10-15 minute ride, no code. He thinks it's fixed, I don't. I keep driving it, I keep driving it, I keep driving it. Boom, finally pops up, and same code. So we pulled it in last night, and I was out here till 10 working on it. Pulled the pan, the sensor, from what I can remember, which is hard to undo it once I already did it, but I grabbed it and snapped it together, the pigtail on it right here. So, and it's a Jasper reman trans, and I was like, well, that would make sense. It could have just not been plugged in. So we fill it up with fluid, go drive it again. I drove it for 40 minutes yesterday evening. Couldn't get it to do it, parked it. I'm like, okay, you know, I called him, tell him, hey, it was just a sensor unplugged. Started back up this morning, wouldn't even shift one time, and then it was in limp mode. So here we are trying to get this issue taken care of. We're putting a new OEM Ford sensor, and I'm gonna get you guys actually the part number on this in case one of you ever experienced this code. This video is gonna probably be kind of titled to this because I don't know. I just feel like I can help someone maybe, because I've been scounging the internet trying to find information on this code, and I couldn't. So here's the part number for it. It's the CC3. That's the part number for it, and it's the same part number for the output speed sensor and the input. I'm going to show you guys the schematic of where these are actually located in the transmission. So here's what they look like. So this is our culprit for our code. All right, guys, we got the new sensor installed. I checked continuity in all of the valve body wiring, and I've put 16.2 miles on it so far, and it didn't throw a code. And I'm not 100% positive that I fixed it yet, just because it didn't throw a code, because it took a lot of driving yesterday to get it to do it again. But what I have noticed is I haven't had one fault on my turbine shaft speed sensor. So before, if I would go drive and then go to park, it would throw a fault for a split second, and then it would go back to okay, and I haven't seen that once at all. So I'm thinking it was just the sensor. So I'm gonna go around a big block and put some more miles on it, top it off the fluid, and send him home. I'm gonna give him a cheap little scanner that I have laying around and tell him, you know, if it happens to him on the interstate 200 miles from now, that he can just clear the code and bring it out of limp mode. That's the best we can do for the time we're given, guys, but I do think the sensor fixed it. So 1:30 now, we're about to send him home, hopefully. All right, guys, we got and also don't mind the earpiece. I'm not trying to be fancy, and a realistic note, so you guys know I have this. We get a lot of calls, and I'm always having to run into the office, and I was able to hook this up with my new office phone, and I can answer the phone out here, still be doing a job, and just makes us more efficient. So I know it looks kind of goofy, but if I get a phone call right now, I'll be able to tell. So I'm not also having to constantly go back in there and check over and over again. So yeah, I know it looks kind of, you know, it's not necessarily the most stylish thing, but it does the job. So anyways, the Ford yesterday, we got it wrapped up and got it going. The speed sensor fixed it. The gentleman actually texted me like 2 hours in his drive, said it hadn't done it, so I'm confident that that fixed it. Just a faulty sensor, but we also did go over all the wiring to check it out, just to make sure that we didn't have any issues there, and everything is looking good. So starting today with some new projects, we have a 2009 Mini Cooper turbo car with a 6-speed manual, and the clutch is completely smoked in it. It absolutely will not move at all. So pretty confident we got a clutch issue, but we are gonna have to remove the transmission to check that out. We're actually probably gonna have to pull the whole motor out of it, which kind of sucks, but oh well. I mean, it's a small front-wheel drive car. We're used to working on diesel, so it's not really that big of a deal. I have local farmers, LBZ pulled in for some front end and a rear end noise. Starting with doing a wheel bearing and trying to get all these noises to go away. So that is kind of where we are at on that. The 12 valve that we were doing the work on, guys, out there, David's, we have ordered a set of pillar gauges for it and a new TV cable, because the one on it's all frayed up. Got those parts coming in tomorrow, so we'll be installing them. And our LOI, we're still waiting on heads for the heads to be done. That is a major issue and downfall to kind of our operations, I guess you would say right now, is I don't have cylinder heads in stock for every year Duramax. We only have a couple of the common years, and the LLYs are kind of fading out as far as how often you have to do them anymore. Seems like the LMLs are the big ones that have the head gasket issues, so we don't have any in stock. And we have to just machine those, and that just takes time, and it sucks, but we're gonna work on trying to get some more cores lined up and have cylinder head for every vehicle ready to go, every common diesel ready to go. That way we can improve downtime. So definitely sucks, but it is what it is. So we're just moving right along with pulling this Mini Cooper apart. It's kind of tight in there, guys, not gonna lie, but it looks like we're gonna have to pull the whole subframe and drop the whole engine on the ground and kind of go from there. So just want to kind of give you guys an update on today so far. Absolutely beautiful weather out, got the doors open, and yeah, just kind of bring you guys up to speed on everything. Guys, we're also working on this Class C motorhome. This is probably going to be the title of this video. Pretty unfortunate, but David, the 12 valve in the back, this is actually his parents' motorhome, and they go to start it one day and they're like, wow, this thing's really loud. Someone had crawled underneath of it and cut the catalytic converter off of it, cut the O2 sensor. This thing is pretty much open manifolds. Oh boy. Kind of give you guys a little idea what they did. Just gave her the old zing, chopped her right off. Seems like they always do a clean cut though. They'll make it so that way you can put it back on. They probably just needed the catalytic converter more than they did, so you know how it goes. But luckily, guys, with the big door and everything, we'll be able to pull this thing in the shop, and we're going to build a cage around it to prevent thieves from stealing it again. It's just sad, really. It just sucks that people will swoop to that low to do that kind of thing. As far as our own vehicles, guys, that we have on the channel, we really haven't done much to the 12 valve. Just got some center caps for it to kind of clean up the look a little bit. And we do have some injector nozzles we're going to be putting on it. I don't think I've really done anything to the interior. I haven't even drove this thing in a while. So yeah, we do have some small fuel upgrades we're going to be doing soon. So we will capture as much of that as we can on video and show you guys kind of how it runs. And for the end of the day, we got the clutch out of the Cooper, and she was smoked-ers. Yep, she was all cooped up in there. We got a new clutch kit coming in the morning. Went to the machine shop this afternoon and picked up cylinder heads for the Duramax. Got those torqued, putting those back together now. These black RTV on these. Torque them all. I do orange Loctite on the inside ones just to prevent them from coming loose. It's torqued to 15 foot-pounds. We got some sensors still to put back on. We got to put our dowels back in, and we have started getting the head surfaces cleaned up. So we're going to really pound on that thing tomorrow and try and get it wrapped up. Also got some more cylinder heads over here back from the machine shop. I'm going to start offering these if you guys are in the central Indiana area. Need a cylinder head. I've got two VP44 Cummins heads in stock with a fresh valve job and a fresh O-ring. This one's got a little smudge on it from where we had it on the pallet. But these are an O-ring, guys. They're cut into the cylinder head here, and we've had really good luck running these on a lot of our applications. We may use one of these on one of our trucks. I'm not totally sure yet, but just kind of give you guys an idea of what they look like. It's just kind of give you guys an idea what they look like. These are good to probably 700, 800 horse, and they're just a lot easier than a fire ring. So use the factory head gasket, and this O-ring crushes on top of the factory fire ring. So if you guys are interested in the head, like I said, we got two in stock, 98.5 to 02, 24 valve Cummins, ready to go. Still we're thinking about a price on these, and we'll need your core off of your truck. So that is pretty much going to wrap up the end of today. I am going to get everything shut up here, and we will start back tomorrow. New day, new video. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by once again. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you're in central Indiana, you want us to work on your vehicle or need performance build done, custom stuff, whatever, guys, hit us up. DirtyDiamondDiesel@yahoo.com. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.